your fist to the air. Tunes Brothers everywhere. Rockin' loud, feel the sound. Tunes Brothers smashing ground. Whoa, rebels with guitars in hand. Raise your fist. Raise your fist.
Okay, welcome into Tunes Brothers. I am Ace Frehley. That is Lay versus Lay. What will it be? Whatever the hell that means.
Lee versus Lee, as in Stanley and Frehley.
Okay. The Jersey City Saint, Down Under Dave, and Scotty G. Rob will not have an opinion tonight because we all know which way that's going to go. So we'll just have a cast of characters chiming in here. I would like to say this is very unfair because putting me, Ace Frehley, up against Paul Stanley is extremely, extremely unfair. I have no vocal ability whatsoever. I can only write songs about drugs and space. Scott, stop interrupting me or I'll come down to North Carolina and slap the shit out of you. So yeah, there it is. So we're going to start with Louie. And what are we going to do here? We just going to track one versus track one right out of the gate, Scott?
Yeah, man. I thought that's what we was doing anyway.
Well, I mean, I can do it, but it's not going to be a surprise to anybody. I didn't even have to listen to these albums.
They might be one surprise on there.
Yeah, I doubt that. But Lewis, we got two of the most successful and popular Kiss solo albums ever.
Absolutely.
So we're going Tonight You Belong to Me versus Rip It Out.
Okay, here we go. You're probably going to kick me off this thing right after I get done say what I'm going to say, but it's great entertainment for the fans and for my opinion. Now, I had to wrestle with this one. Both songs are about bad relationships ending. Both songs are pretty epic. One, Paul's big opening, soft opening with the big crashing in of everything and all the guitar work and his vocals, high end, one of the best things he's ever accomplished and all that. And then we got Ace, his direct, hard-hitting, straight to the point song. Now, before I pick the song, you're already going to guess by what I'm going to say. I was at a club one night many years ago. There was this dude. I was there. There was a three-piece band. Two guys were friends of mine, and the drummer I don't really know. So this guy asked if he'd come up and sing a song. So he sang the Dupree's version of "You Belong to Me" for his wife or girlfriend or something. And when he walked off of that stage, I said, "Man, you just let the whole club know your wife or girlfriend's got your balls in a jar." So here's Paul singing his heart out with this song, but still, it's one of those songs where it's like, dude, you sound like a whiny pants. Whereas Ace's song is direct, hard-hitting, pretend this is my leg, I got this breakup right here, you know? And it's the best, or one of the best, fuck you, and the tampon you wrote in on songs ever. So I choose Rip It Out.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay, Jersey City Saint Tommy. What the hell is a Jersey City Saint, by the way?
I am.
Okay.
Is that a football team or something?
No, it's my nickname I gave myself a long time ago.
You can't give yourself a nickname.
Yes, I can. I just did, Rob.
That's against
what
all
somebody
rules.
else does.
All right.
My number one. Okay, see, at first, I wanted to look at this album not vocally, because if I did vocally, I wouldn't be really attending this. So my first pick would be Rip It Out, due to just guitar work, drum work, and producership, I should say, or producingship, or whatever you want to call it. So my number one is Rip It Out. Producer ship.
Production value.
Hey, there you
That's
go.
a good one.
That's a new one. So Rip It Out is my number one, guys. Dave?
Down Under.
I'll bring some
Oh,
sanity.
wait, 1 second. Okay, Down Under.
I'll bring some sanity back to the table here. I
Thank you,
do
sir.
like Rip It Out. I think it's a great song, but Paul Stanley on this song is just epic. I don't know how you guys could possibly think Rip It Out is the better song. I still think Lewis Has No Feelings, so I'm going with Tonight You Belong to Me, one of the greatest songs Paul Stanley's ever sung.
Awesome. Scotty. Gee, I wonder where this is going to go.
I love you, Dave, but you've never been so wrong, brother, on this one. Rip It Out tears a hole in Tonight You Belong to Me ass. And I like Tonight You Belong to Me, but it's not even a contest. So, yeah.
I agree, it's not a contest.
Darren.
Of the, what were there, 9, 10 tracks total?
9.
So of the 9, I thought 4 of them were close. This being one of them, but not so close to succumb to the dark side and pick Rip It Out. I'm not sure how you could discount the vocals of a song when you're comparing the strength of songs, Tommy. But you have to. I mean, it'd be like turning everything into an instrumental, then they would all suck. So Tonight You Belong to Me is the better of the two songs.
See,
that was said with such intellect and well thought out. Tommy, shut up. Your turn's over. All right. My turn. Since I have to do this, Lewis, get bent. You don't judge a song on what it's about. Tommy, go blow yourself. The vocals mean everything in any song unless you're talking about an instrumental CD. You cannot discount vocal prowess, of which Ace has none.
I know.
Rip It Out is a great song, like many songs on Aces, but it ain't nowhere fucking close to the power and the fucking versatility that Paul brings on this song. So there we go. 3 versus 3. And number 2, Lewis, Move On versus Speeding Back to My Baby. Okay, this one's going to be a whole lot easier for me. I find that Move On being one of the weaker songs for Paul. Not a bad song, but on the whole spectrum of things. That and Rip It Out from before wound up on my Kiss compilation thing. But anyway, I'm going with Speeding Back to My Baby. I love the guitar. I love the song. I like the story going on. I like that drum fill that Anton Fig does in the middle and everything. Fantastic. Move On, great song too, but I'm choosing Speed Back to My Baby. All right, so we got a blue Kool-Aid drinker right out of the gate here. Tommy.
Move On is my
there
number
you go.
2.
Little bit of sanity coming out of the Jersey City Saint.
Now, again, I know you guys are coming from, you have to include the vocals, but if I did, I would have just been all Paul Stanley. You know?
Okay, so as a guitar player, what, you're judging this as guitar playing?
Musically, really. The whole shebang, musically.
Okay, because I was going to say Bob Kulick's way better than Ace Frehley at guitar,
Absolutely.
too. So.
Okay. Yeah. But my number 2 is Move On. Bring me back to sanity.
Dave.
I've never seen Peter Criss smoking before. It looks strange.
I know, isn't that nice?
Once again, I do like both songs. Speeding Back to My Baby, I know the chorus is just a bit too juvenile for my liking, but that's typical of Ace's writing anyway. So another strong song from Paul once again, so Move On. The Purple Side gets it again.
Yeah, I ain't going that way. I'm going with
Ring the
Lewis.
bell for them two up there.
Because we're going to have to ring the bell for both sides. Sorry, Scott.
Then
if we
move
ring
on.
the bell for, never mind. I'm not talking.
Sounds like
are you knocking the song because of the backup singers?
No, it's just a hell of a lot weaker of a song than Speeding Back to My Baby. I mean, fuck.
Speeding back to my baby.
So you're picking Speeding Back to My Baby?
Hell yeah.
You realize there's chick singers in that song too, right?
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, there's chick singers in both.
Yeah, but the ones in Paul just don't hit it. Ace has got the best chick singers in that song.
You know, Paul Stanley's chick singers would be much better looking than Ace Frehley's.
Paul sounds like a chick on this album half the time.
Before I give my take on this song, I just have a question for Louie and Scott. Does your assholes get jealous of the shit that comes out of your mouth?
Yeah, probably. But I ain't got to Paul's good songs yet, man. I'm not one way on this fucking album. Like,
Oh shit!
What you're seeing here is Scott's
the songs I picked are
really
going to be
clouding his judgment.
going to be the songs that are the fucking best songs, regardless of who's singing.
Scott, I can tell by the way you're delivering it. It's pure anger
I ain't
against Paul.
sucking Paul Stanley's dick, brother. Y'all can do that all you want to. I like him, but when it comes to songs, these first two songs are way better than Paul's first two songs matched up. That's a fact.
Was it skunkweed or hash or peyote? What'd you do before the show?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So
Gary.
Yeah.
Do you want your question answered or not?
I like the song "Speeding Back to My Baby." These first two songs were the ones that two of the four that I indicated were somewhat close, but "Move On" still takes the cake on this in this lineup or in this battle. So that's what I said.
Now, as far as addressing Lewis, I'm not ringing the bell because we got split decisions. I'd be ringing the bell for pretty much everybody on here, so that's pointless. We'll ring the bell if we get a unanimous decision.
Okay.
Again,
There you go.
how Lewis, you can berate Paul Stanley for having his balls in a fucking vice singing about "Tonight You Belong to Me," and you got bitch Frehley talking about how he's going to drop everything and run back to his baby. How is that not balls in a vice? Nevertheless, again, I like the song "Speeding Back to My Baby." Some of Ace's best guitar work, but you cannot discount again the multiple levels of vocals on "Move On," from the falsetto stuff to the down tempo stuff to the power stuff, the amazing story he's singing about. Paul Stanley all day long.
Well, for "Tonight You Belong to Me" did not go up against "Speeding Back to My Baby," so I still hold my position.
All right.
The both about breakups. One's about "Get lost, bitch, I don't need you." The other one's "Give me one more chance."
Okay, well then, "Speeding Back to My Baby," which you chose, is about "I'm gonna be right home," and Paul's is about "Fuck you, bitch, I'm moving on." So wouldn't that be the same kind of logic you're using on track one, but you're siding with Ace anyway?
She told Paul to move on, though.
His mom did, not the chick.
Yeah.
And that's what she told me. Move on. Hey, wake up.
All right,
Open your fucking ears.
Ain't Quite Right versus Surprise, Surprise, a song about being high, snowblind.
Oh, hell. This is easy, too. Go, Lewis.
Oh, shit. Oh, gee whiz. Oh, so easy for me. Snowblind. I love that music. And then the Paul's vocals are great. Tremendous vocals in that song. Whatever. It's whatever. I got to pick one over the other. This is the third time in a row for Ace. I'm sorry, but that's just how it's going so far.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me a second. I just had to look up and I see Rob with Gene Simmons' tongue sticking out, and I just lost it there. That is like, I needed this today, man. I'm telling you, I needed it.
That's awesome, man. I like it.
You needed Rob's tongue.
No, I needed the laughs, man. I needed the laughs. That's what I needed today. My number 3 is Ain't Quite Right, man. And that just proved that right there. That was not right at all.
Gene Simmons having a cigarette. He needs to loosen up a little bit.
Have a shot of whiskey too, Gene.
Damn
Well,
right.
Maybe some cold gin.
Got that right
nice.
here.
Awesome.
Yeah. But my number 3 is Ain't Quite Right.
All right, so we got one Ace, one Paul, Dave.
We've got 2 Paul. There's something ain't quite right about Snowblind. I've never liked this song from the moment I heard it. The music's all right, but once Ace opens its mouth, it's all over. Ain't Quite Right. It's an epic song. Once again, just an easy choice. I'm just going to be the opposite of Blue, I think.
Yep.
2 for Ace, because anybody that likes that song better than Snowblind definitely ain't fucking quite right. So, there you back at you.
Well, no, it's 3 for Paul because Ain't Quite Right is better than Can't Get Right. And that Can't Get Right is Snowblind. It is good music. I agree with Dave. Once Ace starts singing, he can't compete.
I like Ain't Quite Right. It's just
Ain't quite right.
Snowblind is just too powerful for that one.
I remember
The second
doing another
half of
video
Paul's
where-
album is what's going on for me.
I remember doing another video where we talked about the solo albums, and I know that Snowblind was, if I remember correctly, in your top echelon. And I get it. Like I said, it's a good song. It doesn't compare to Paul singing, which is the majority of these matchups.
That's
All right,
4
Matt.
for Paul. 4 for Paul. I'm Batman.
All right, told you he was Batman.
Yeah, Snowblind
Damn,
is
he
just
is Batman.
Snowblind is just too slow and plodding for me, and that's a beautiful, beautiful ballad by Paul. So yeah, Paul wins it.
Yeah.
serious, Batman. I have to kick your ass.
Louis, wouldn't
ahead,
you
baby.
like to know me versus what's on your mind?
That's not it. That's the
I'm
wrong
sorry,
track.
Ozone.
All right. Guess what? We have a change in venue here. The crowd is now cheering for Paul Stanley because I love that song. What's Ozone? And it's okay. It's not my least favorite on the album. You'll know which one that is when we get to it. But Paul Stanley for the win
That
on
is cool.
round 4.
All right, Tom.
My number 4 is Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? Another strong song from Stanley to me. It's way better than fucking Ozone, because Ozone's a shitty song. It's so slow, and not to mention, I'm not very big on Ace singing. Period.
Awesome.
Neither is the crowd that goes to his shows.
How do they even stand there for an hour to 2 hours listening
Oh,
to this
dude,
thing?
it's fucking brutal. I had to do it last year. It's absolutely brutal.
I'm-
Dave,
Tommy, the bigger question is, how does Ace stand there for an hour?
he barely
That's
did.
another good question. That's a good question.
Marionette.
That's the question.
Sober
one's
my
easy.
ass.
Thank you.
This one's
way.
easy for me. Wouldn't You Like to Know Me is probably one of those perfect pop rock songs. Ozone has got to be the worst song on this album by far. So Ozone would lose to even Hold Me, Touch Me, I think. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if Scott picks
no,
Ozone,
no,
I'm leaving.
Ozone and what? Wouldn't You Like to Know Me?
Yep.
Ozone's, I like it, but the chorus is too drony. Wouldn't You Like to Know Me is one of the best songs on Paul's album. So, Paul, let's give him to get this one by far.
D-Ron.
This is the one where I really went against the masses here and went with Ozone. Just kidding.
You got to
I was
be
going
shitting
to
me.
say, Jesus Christ.
No way. Just joking. This is definitely Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? Again, what Scott said, Ozone, it's drones on. That chorus is crap. Wouldn't You Like to Know Me is one of the best songs from on Paul's solo album. Ozone didn't stand a chance.
All right, the first unanimous pick, Ozone, that long intro with the droning chorus, as Scott says. Not one of the better songs on Frehley's solo album. And contrary to my picks here, and as much fun as I like to have at Scott's expense, Ace's album is fantastic. This song is not one of them, though. This was a very unfair matchup with Wouldn't You Like to Know Me?
Yeah.
Lewis, Take Me Away versus What's on Your Mind. I'm sorry, Take Me Away Together as One.
Yes. Now, this was a little bit tougher for me than you guys could think of, because you have the great epic Paul Stanley song that should have got radio play. It would have that album would have soared to the top just on that one song alone. But then again, What's on Your Mind by Ace Frehley has those nice 12-string strums going through it, and it's a nice song about like an innocent point of view. So it's like, it's charming, it's fun to listen to. I think it has a beautiful innocence to it. But Paul's going to win this one. And what I like about the song is the way the instrumental closeout. I think it's very reminiscent of the Beatles' I Want You / She's So Heavy. That
Really? I never heard that.
You never heard I Want You / She's So Heavy? Well, it's like about a 7-minute song and 4 minutes of his instrumental closeout. Might bother you, but the sound is.
It depends on how it's done, because, like you said, on this Paul song, I absolutely love that instrumental closeout, mostly because of the killer different drum fills that go into it. It's just really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's on the Abbey Road album. It's the last song on the first side, or the 6 or 7 songs. There's a whole bunch of short songs. I forgot how many are involved. And I always thought that song should have closed out the album. And you got to listen all the way to the end. All right.
I honestly have not heard anything Beatles that isn't a hit. So that's one of the things I've been curious about as I've gotten older, going back and checking out what their non-release stuff sounds like.
Yeah. I'm not a Beatles fan, but I'm a fan of the stuff I love from them.
Tommy Tom.
Take me, what's the rest of it?
Away.
Any way you want me, just break me any way you can.
Take Me Away Tonight.
Together as One.
Together as One, yeah.
You should learn the song before you judge it.
Right. But that's my number 5. Take Me Together as One.
Take Me Away Together as One. You keep changing the title.
Yeah,
Take me away.
I'm dyslexic, guys. Leave me the hell alone.
Are you really, or just saying that?
I am.
Take me to the gay bar. Together as one.
It's a beautiful song.
Oh shit! The Blue Oyster Bar.
There you
go. Tackleberry.
Okay, down on
right.
Okay, so I do like both these songs, and I do like Ace Frehley's album as well. I'm even wearing Ace today. Look, so I've got Ace on. So
nice.
But once again, I think this is one of Paul's best vocal performances on the album, and it's just too strong for What's on Your Mind. But yeah, another one for Paul for me.
Scotty Scott.
Okay, you got one great song, one pretty good song here. What's on Your Mind is, I've always liked it, but it's a forgotten song almost on Ace's album.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's a decent song. I put it that way. But this song right here, Take Me Away Together as One, is fucking awesome. It's a power. When they hit that breakdown and he starts belting out them fucking vocals, man, that's some of the best fucking vocal work Paul Stanley's ever done, man. I mean, I just can't see not doing something with a song like that, man. I just don't get it, dude. That is powerful. I mean, and you got the breakdowns and the lows, and then he just explodes. Like Rob said, man, the ending off is awesome. I love the instrumental. The drummer, man, he's just going off, dude. This is one of the best songs on the damn album. So, yeah, Paul's getting this one.
J-Ron.
Yeah, this one, I guess I don't want to say it was too difficult, but this one was close. Had What's on Your Mind. I'm not sure what you could have pitted up against to take the wind, but you can't. I mean, it's not going to beat out this particular song. Like I said, it was close. I like What's on Your Mind. Like several of you said, I mean, I like Ace's solo album as well. It's the second best of the four. But the Paul Stanley song beats it out again.
Yeah, me too. Like Scott said, probably forget about the album. This might be his greatest vocal performance ever on a studio track. These are two forgotten tracks. Together as One, Take Me Away, forgotten by Paul. And I don't understand over the years whether it was his first solo tour or when Kiss put the makeup back on, or, you know, before they took the makeup off and they were doing tracks from each band's solo or each member's solo, why it was always Tonight You Belong to Me and Move On, it seemed. He's never talked about this to my knowledge, never represented it. And if I had a chance to have a 5-minute conversation, that's the number one question I'd like to ask. Why don't you like this song, or why didn't you push it? On the other end of the spectrum, when you hear about Ace Frehley's legendary album, you hear Rip It Out, you hear people talk about Speeding Back to My Baby, Snowblind, even Ozone, of course, New York Route. I never hear people talk about What's on Your Mind, and it's a forgotten track to me as well, because I didn't need to listen to these albums, but I listened to Aces today. That might be my favorite song on the album right now, today. It is such a good, well-sung song by Ace, who normally kind of just talks his lyrics. I really like it, but it came up against something that is way out of its league. There are a few songs, to Darren's point, that I think I would have picked this one over, but there's not anything on Ace's album that would take away this one. So Paul for the sweep on that one.
Yep.
Lewis, It's All Right versus New York Groove.
No freaking contest. This is going to probably more than likely a 6-song sweep for Paul. It's all right. Like I said, I've got other songs that are on my condensed 78 version Kiss album, and I use It's All Right as the closing track because it's a perfect ending. It's got that boom ending, and you gotta love it. And everything, the guitar. I used to have a really killer stereo, and the neighbors hate me for playing it so loud, and I made sure that song was played loud. So Paul Stanley gets this one for sure.
All right, Jersey Girl.
It's all right.
Look at the Village people.
It's all right.
Oh my God, Darren, that's hilarious.
That's Scott in the Blue Oyster Club.
Hey. Yeah, man.
Oh shit, that's awesome. Okay, sorry, Tommy. What's going on with your picture?
It's all right. It's all right.
Are you saying the song's just all right, or is that your
Yeah,
pick?
no, that's my pick. That and it's my pick as well.
All right.
I accept it. That's just how it is.
Down Under.
Obviously, this is probably the first song I ever heard of any of the solo albums, New York Groove. And it just goes to show that Ace can write a hit song as long as somebody else does it for him.
He didn't write it.
It's a good song, but it's not as good as It's All Right. It's All Right is a perfect rock song. So It's All Right definitely gets my vote.
To recap, Dave said Ace can write a good song as long as someone else does it for him.
Okay, well, I know in this case it was someone else wrote the song and Ace sang it.
That's what he was.
That's what
The
he
other
was
way
saying.
around.
That was the point.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Okay, so you picked Ace Frehley, New York Groove, Dave?
No, it's all right.
Oh, okay. Scott.
Oh man, this one's tough. It's All Right is one of the best songs on Paul Stanley's album. And of course, Ace Frehley's New York Groove is known, even though he didn't write it, it's a remake. But I had to draw it out a little bit here and make y'all think a little bit. It's All Right. It's my favorite song on Paul Stanley's solo album, dude. That's the one that's going to take this one with ease.
Okay, Darren.
Yeah, this is the last of the 4 songs that was close for me. I've always liked New York Groove, but again, in each of those 4 instances where I thought it was close, the song it goes up against, it's not even a nudge, right? I mean, it's not even a win by an RCH. It's an outright win for Paul. So,
All right. This is probably the closest one I have on my list. I love New York Groove. I've loved it since I first heard it when I was a kid. I even love Hello's original version. I love what Sweet did in the last few years with it. It's an amazing song. What Ace adds to, and doesn't really change, but adds that heavy guitar in there. It's such a good song, but It's All Right, like Scott said, might be, it's definitely my favorite upbeat song on the album. So again, perhaps just an unfair pitting here when it comes to my opinion on it.
If you put a lead in It's All Right, man, that's a Kiss song.
Yeah.
That's on the Kiss album right there.
Yeah. Okay, back to Lewis. Hold me, touch me, think of me when we are apart. That is a mouthful. That's what she said. Versus I'm in need of love.
okay. First of all, I want to mention this has been a trifecta for Paul. 3 in a row, clean sweep on 3 songs.
Okay.
All right. And
What?
yeah.
Oh,
Number 4, number 5, and number 6. All 6. Paul got all 6 votes.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeling left out on this bottom row. So now I fit in.
Hey,
There you go, man.
that's a good look on you.
hey. Before
Next time I see you, that might happen.
It's all right.
before I give
Do
you my
you mean Rob was wearing a wig?
Yeah. Okay. Go
He
ahead.
reserves that for Saturday nights, but he's making an exception.
Okay, Lewis. Sorry.
Before I give you my choice, can you go back to that Wasp video you did and insert words over the picture if you can, over it?
Over the pic? Oh, because you made a mistake?
Yeah, could you put up the jerk meant wild child on it or something?
Yeah, I'll go into the. I saw your comment on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So in case any gets more comments, people don't see that, then I don't want to keep catching and explaining it.
Yeah.
Now, here is the situation between these 2 songs. I was 17 years old when this album, all the solo albums came out. It's like I bought Paul. I got my bicycle, rode to the Caldors department store. I don't know if they have them in your neck of the woods at the time. Bought Paul Stanley's album, listened to it, got back on my bike, took another 3-mile bike ride, got Gene Simmons' solo album. Boom. And then the other 2 will come later in the story. Now, when I heard Hard Luck Woman, I used to love that. I still love that song, okay? But I always thought it was Paul singing with a raspy voice because I didn't know that the person has name as the guy who writes the song, not who sings the song. And I was kind of always praying, like, gee, I think it'd be nice if Paul did a ballad in his smooth, soothing voice. That'd be so beautiful. So I hear the song, and like the first week or so, I'm crying like a little sissy baby girl because the song's so beautiful, and I'm a total wuss and everything else. But, you know, time flies, people changes, my attitude changes, you know, fuck this and that. And this is the Ace Frehley song I like least, is I'm in Need of Love. But after listening for years and whatever, I'm going to just by a slight edge, choose the Ace Frehley song. That's just my way of thinking of it.
All right, with me, I'm going with Paul on this one. Hold me,
Whoa.
touch me, think of me when you're.
Man, I thought this
thought
was going to
that
be a
this-
clean ace sweep.
I'm
I
telling you, man.
absolutely think that this song is beautiful. As
Yeah.
long as it is, but
Beautiful.
it is very beautiful. As for Ace's song, I can live without listening to that song. I'm in need of love. I can't with that song at all. It's just so.
All right.
Just no.
Fair enough.
Hey,
Dave.
I was going to say, Lou, it was lucky you didn't buy Peter Chris's solo album first, because you probably wouldn't have ridden back at all.
No, I bought his last.
Hey,
Smart.
unlucky.
No, actually, truthfully, I bought Ace's last. I'll tell you why later on.
Well, no worries. So I first heard this song. The first time I heard all these songs was on the best of the solo albums before I got the solo albums. And Hold Me, Touch Me, I thought was a good song at the time, but once I got the album, it didn't really fit the rest of the album. And I think over time, the more you listen to it, I think the more I dislike it. I'm in Need of Love. I think it's a pretty good song. I like the guitar effect on it. So the first time tonight, I'm voting for Ace.
All right. Scott.
This is monumental YouTube history.
yeah, man. I think anybody that would pick this song by Paul would stroke a shaft and tingle some balls, because I'm telling you right now, man, that's a gay tendency song if I ever heard one. And let me tell you something. Hey, Ace is that's one of his songs on his fucking album, man. I'm in Need of Love. It's rocks, dude. Now, Paul does some good stuff with some ballads that I love, but this is definitely not one of them. Probably the worst one he's ever done. Maybe. But yeah, I'm going with Ace this time. Fuck yeah.
Okay. Darren.
Yeah, I'm not going to chastise the Jersey City Saint for his choice here. I'll question it, but to each their own. I'm in Need of Love is.
Why does everyone think I'm gay? I don't understand that.
I'm not saying-
Why does everyone think I'm gay? Can I just
one-
please answer that question?
I did not say. I didn't even. That's the first thing.
You didn't have
We-
to, bro.
We don't think you're gay at all. We know.
No.
I mean, I've seen your
I'm
woman.
fucking with you.
I've seen your woman roaming around in the background before, so I know better, and I wouldn't insinuate that. It's just, again, I don't. Out of all the songs, right? I think you've picked one other. Rip It Out, and like I said, I don't understand that one either. It's a good song. Doesn't beat, in my opinion, obviously Tonight, You Belong to Me, but this song it shocks me the most because I thought for sure this is the one that Ace would sweep. I thought there would be definitely from Scotty. I wasn't sure about, and more than likely from Rob, that on Scott's side that Ace would win a few more out of the group, and Rob would more than likely be on the opposite side. But yeah, I'm not sure. Hold Me, Touch Me, not a very good Paul tune at all. So I'm in Need of Love is my choice.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a clean ace sweep too. I thought if there was any holdout, it might be Dave because he is the most sentimental when it comes to ballads. It's not an
Thanks,
insult, man. It's not an insult.
No, I wasn't taking it as an insult.
When I was young, I loved Hold Me, Touch Me. But like Lewis, as I got older, I'm like, this to me reminds me, and it's not a bad song. I want to make that clear. It's a bad Paul song. It's a bad Kiss song, whatever way you want to phrase it. This to me reminds me if Paul would have become a member of Air Supply. This is just too soft for a rock star. And I'm in Need of Love is a fucking cool song. So this is easy for me all day that Ace gets this one.
He should have gave it to Peter to sing on his solo album.
That
What's
should
that,
have been the song. I said that should have been the song that was forgot about and pulled out together as one and released that as a damn single. I mean, what?
But then
the
they
hell?
put it, and they put this damn thing on the best of the solo albums. That's the real head scratcher.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they were
man.
trying for a radio hit, but if it didn't happen when you released it for the solo, why you put it on the best of? And like someone said it, maybe this would have been a hit if they'd have let Peter sing it with his raspy voice. Maybe it'd have been a little less wussy.
Hold Me, Touch Me sounds like a song that Bread would have done.
Yeah.
Who?
And I'm
The
Brad.
band called Bread.
It's a folksy type band.
Yeah, I know who they are.
It's a good ballad. It's a good ballad.
It is a good ballad. It's just not good in this realm of genre.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, not Poison, not Firehouse. This is weak for even Firehouse, who's got some weak ballads. Not saying they're bad. I'm saying they're that overly chick friendly type whatever.
I said it just doesn't fit the album at all.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No, I can agree with that. It doesn't. But to me, I was just like, this is.
Maybe if they would have taken the damn piano out of there and just left it as a guitar, even acoustic,
I would have done that.
Even acoustic might have helped it. I don't know. Anyway, back to Lee. Who will it? What will it be? Who will it be? What will it be? Who can it be now?
Which album?
Yeah, gotcha. So we are up to Love in Chains versus Wiped Out. Wiped Out.
Oh boy, this is another two songs I put on my 78 Kiss album because I love them both. They both fit and everything else. Wow, man. I had a hard time. I already got my pick selected, but it was not easy. I had to go back and forth to listen. Which one am I going to pick? I love these songs so much. But I'm giving this one to Ace for Wiped Out. I just love that crazy drum coming in and the laugh and the double thing with the one guitar go and the other one bam, 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 at the same time. I'm like, it's like this song is too ripping freaking cool not to love. So Love and Change, fantastic song also, but my choice for this round is going to be Ace Frehley's Wiped Out.
Right. Tom.
Ring the bell, I guess. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm going with Lewis on there with Wipeout. Wipeout. It's.
You're picking Hold Me, Touch Me, and you're not picking Love and Change. Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Yeah.
I like the guitar work better.
I
like the guitar better on Wipeout. It's done better. Oh, I know, but I just that's just my opinion on it. Is I think the guitar work is better.
All right, yeah.
I can live without Ace Frehley singing, period. But guitar playing is fine.
Okay, Dave.
Well, I've shown way too much love for Ace, so I'll have to go back to Paul on this one again. I do like Wiped Out as well, but Love in Chains to me is just still a much better song. Once again, Paul's vocals are great. It's a great chorus, so back we go to Paul's side.
All right, Scott Tay.
I've liked both these songs okay. They're not, neither one of these songs are my favorite songs on their solo album. But I've got to give the edge to Ace on this one. It's not by much, but Love and Change is a good song, but I've never liked the breaks in that song. I don't know what it is. It's like they damn near stop, pause, nothing. And pause between everything. And it's still a good song. It's a rocking song, and Wiped Out is middle of the road on here. Both these are middle of the road songs, but I like the jamming part when he starts singing the chorus better in Wiped Out. So that would win it for me for Ace on this one.
All right. I agree with Scott in the fact that neither of these two are the strongest songs by any means on their respective albums, but I am going with the Paul Stanley Love and Chains. I still think it's the better of the two tunes. I love the vocals, especially the chorus on Love and Chains. So this was a pretty easy choice for me.
All right. Like everybody on here, seemingly, I like both of these songs. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved Wipeout because of the laugh. I thought it was hilarious. They got like a slight phaser or flange on that intro drum beat that's really cool. It's a great guitar riff. But man, Love and Chains is just power personified. The breaks are a little head scratchy. Me and Scott have talked about that on previous videos. But man, his voice is so strong, and to me, the song is so heavy that I just have to give the nod on. And yes, like Darren and Scott both said, it's not either of their strongest efforts. Both good songs, but if I have to pick one to listen to 9 out of 10 times, it'd be Love and Chains.
So split decision. Tie.
And now we get to probably the most unfair matchup of the evening. Goodbye versus the instrumental Fractured Mirror. Lewis?
No, Fractured, no. I enjoy both songs, but Paul's I could listen to a little bit more readily and comfortably. But the Ace song, I'll tell you all the good points about it. I believe he plays everything except for the drums on it. And I also think that that's the kind of song that I imagine if you got to get up early in the morning to go on a road trip or something, like back in the day, you get up like at 4:30 in the morning to beat the traffic, and the only thing on the road would be 18-wheelers. And you're driving down the highway, and when the song gets to near the end and it opens back up again, and the sun starts to rise up over the, and you see the daylight and that piece of music, whatever, the sun's coming up and all that. So, but Goodbye is so direct, straight to the point. I love it. So it's going to beat Fractured Mirror for that reason.
All right, fair enough. Tommy.
Song versus instrumental. I'm going to have to give it the song on this one. Goodbye. Today I forgot about this song. Today, actually. And I listened to it today specifically because something crossed my mind. And I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to listen to the song. So I did. And I'm glad that I picked it over that one because it's better. It's a song. It's not instrumental, and I'm not a fan of it. Just instrumentals to begin with. So, my number 9. Goodbye.
Well, as far as instrumentals go, I mean, I don't mind Fractured Mirror. I think it's quite good. I don't understand his need for trying to replicate it many times on other albums. It's like, leave it alone. But I don't think it would have mattered what song off Ace's album had gone up against Goodbye. It wouldn't have won. This is a perfect ending to an album. This to me is just one of Paul's best songs. So I said I don't think anything on Ace's album would have beat it. So Paul wins easy.
Scott?
Yeah, I've always liked the Fractured Mirrors, man. I think I like the third one, 3 the best. But I do love this one. But it's always reminded me, Lois, of Ace's bad trip or something. One of his bad experiences on drugs or something like that. Almost ODing or waking up, or just partying out, man. That I don't know if he ever come to an interview saying that why he wrote it or what it was about or anything, but that's what I always pictured it as. But anyway, it's great. I like it. It's, instrumental, of course, but Goodbye is awesome. I mean, it's one of my favorite songs on the album. I love the ending of it. We was doing the White Line album with their what was the name of that song?
Main Attraction.
Their album with. It reminded me of this song right here. It was damn good. One of my favorite songs on it. But Goodbye is awesome. I've always liked it since I was a kid. So yeah, that one's definitely going to win over Fractured Mirror, in my opinion.
Yeah. For me, Fractured Mirror, I always thought Ace got that idea when he saw his own reflection with all the pit marks and shit that he just figured the mirror was broken. It is a good tune for an instrumental, and I would have no problem listening to it, but it's not just because it is an instrumental. I mean, because Goodbye is that strong of a song also that it beats it hands down. In our video that we had done where I think we picked the top 10 songs off the 4 solos, I left Goodbye as the perfect ending tune on side 2 because like Down Under said, it's a fitting end. It's a great song to end off the album, but it's just a great song overall as well.
Okay, yeah, like Darren and Dave have discussed, it is just perfect to end an album with. As far as instrumental goes, this might be one of my favorite instrumentals of all time, maybe up there with Ava Musicom from Eric Johnson. Always loved this as a kid and through my adult years. I've never understood the need. You can have, solos on every, or, instrumentals on every album. Why he felt the need to keep saying Fractured 1, Fractured 2, 3. I mean, you didn't hear Eruption 1, Eruption 2, Eruption 3. I think that's a failure. Or you're setting yourself up for failure for the people who love the first one. If you don't beat it, now it's going to be under more scrutiny just because of the title. And I personally didn't care for any of the other Fractures, but this one is fabulous. But Goodbye is amazing. From the breakdown, the power, the message, it's just Paul at his best on this album. So, did anybody take the time to tally up who the ultimate winner is?
Paul. I did quick math. 35-9.
Wow. I thought it'd have been a lot closer than that.
Did I get it close to right?
It's just like you guys said, man.
That's not right. That is not right.
Be 45, isn't it?
What's
when
that,
you
Scott?
was doing the Back in Black and the Rock and Roll Over, you can have one outstanding album, or this album may be a little bit better than that album. It's according what songs meet what song, bro. That's what makes it so interesting, though.
Yeah, there was like 3 of them on here that were just unfair to Ace from the jump with what they were matching up against.
Yeah, right there in the middle.
I still think if you jumbled them up for me, Paul would have won still quite easily.
I do too. Yeah. I've gone on record saying that this Paul Stanley solo album is my favorite Kiss album of all time.
Should have been a Kiss album.
Yeah, it should have been a Kiss album.
Take about 3 tracks off of there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, Scott. I agree. Definitely.
I mean, no. I'm just saying, you take about 3 tracks off of that album and put like All American Man, a couple of Gene songs on there, Larger Than Life, maybe Rocket Ride. Damn, bro, you got a fucking hell of a Kiss album. Yeah.
The bottom line is these are the only 2 members who did not lose focus of what the fans were expecting or wanted. They were the only 2 who didn't try to go out and say, look what else I can do. these are the only 2 rock albums out of the 4. And no secret why they're the 2 most popular. And I would say,
yeah.
I don't know what the numbers are. We all know Ace has sold the most, but if Gene is anywhere close to number 2, it's only because it's Gene, the tongue, the blood. That's what people are buying. I would even more than Peter, I'd be willing to bet if all Kiss fans, and I mean diehard Kiss fans, were honest with themselves, the biggest buyer's remorse would be Gene's.
No, it's 40.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
because of
Yeah,
what you were expecting the demon, and you got this.
It's 40. For some reason I got 40-10. I don't know
Trip
why
to
I got
Disneyland.
that.
You should have 54 total votes, right? 6 times 9 is 54. So you should have 54 total votes. So if you have 40-10, you're 4 short somewhere.
I got to learn to write on pieces of paper that aren't jumbled up with things.
That's all right, man. I didn't
I mean,
instruct anybody or ask
It was
anybody.
still a landslide. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
I
all
think
won by a
it's-
landslide.
I think Ace only won like 3 of them.
And most of them were the early tracks. I mean, did anybody pick New York Groove?
No, that was one of the sweeps.
Okay.
No, that
So
went
Rip It
against.
Out, Rip It Out was very well represented. I think
was Speeding Back.
wasn't Speeding Back split.
in
That was
Snowblind might have been split or 4-2 or something like that. It had some votes for Ace.
So really, the only surprise, if you're going off of the well-known Ace tracks, is New York Groove didn't get a vote, but the ones that represented were the ones you kind of figured would.
Wiped Out got some, and Hold
Ozone or Snowblind got some, right?
All right,
Yeah.
this is what I got. First song, 3 for Paul, 3 for Ace. Second
Yep.
song, 2 for Ace, 4 for Paul. Third song, 2 for Ace, 4 for Paul. Fourth song, none for Ace, 6 for Paul. Number 5, 0 for Ace, 6 for Paul. Song 6, 0 songs for Ace, 6 for Paul. Song number 7, 1 for Ace, 5 for Paul. Number 8.
No. Paul did not. Number 7? That's Hold Me, Touch Me.
Yeah.
Only
Tom.
one idiot picked that.
It was 5-1
Tommy.
for Ace.
For Ace, yeah, you said 5 for Paul.
Okay, yeah, all right, hold on
Yeah,
a second.
5 for Ace. Yeah.
Oh, 1 Ace. Oh, I just went. Yeah, that was 5 for Paul and 1 for Ace. And maybe that's messed up
No,
my
5
math.
for Ace, 1 for Paul.
Yeah, 5
Let's
Ace,
keep
1
that.
Paul.
There you go.
So that's
Number 8.
Wiped Out had a
3
couple
and
of
3.
Who voted for Wiped Out?
I voted for Wiped Out. That's 3 and
3.
3. I
Yeah, it was
believe.
split. Yeah,
That was
that
a
was
split.
split.
All right, so that's 8, 10,
Fracture
12.
Mirror was 6.
That looks like 15 votes for Ace total. 9, 10, plus 12, 22, 38, or 28, excuse me, 30, 34, 37. So, or 38. So
Did you
15.
count the fractured?
Yeah,
Okay.
that gets us there. So,
Well, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because a lot of people just readily say Ace is the best. Really? Have you really looked at it track by track? I understand it may mean the most to a lot of people because Ace was extremely popular the first go around with Kiss. I get it. I get nostalgia. I get where you were when you heard the album and everything, but I wanted people to have to do track by track to just see if they still stuck to their guns. Now, the true Ace Kool-Aid drinkers in the comment section will obviously say Ace's songs are better. But at least I made you look, right? I mean, to me,
Yeah,
and
man.
listen,
Hey,
because
It's
I love
50,
both of these
50.
albums, but I don't think it's even close. And that's not a disrespect to Ace, but for decades, I've heard this slam dunk in the Kiss communities online that Ace has got the best solo album. And I'm thinking, to me, in my mind, it ain't even fucking close. And I like both, but Paul's is so far superior as an entire album to me, minus the one absolute embarrassment that Tommy loves. But
it's about 50-50 for me, 60-40. I mean, it's I wound up
And that's
voting
that's
actually.
fine. I can accept that if it's 60-40 Ace for guys like you, but it's like the Ace fans, they'll tell you, or they'll come off online as if it's not even close and Paul's is a piece of shit compared to Ace's. And I'm like,
No,
how are you
no,
getting that opinion?
no.
Well,
Paul's
this-
is done way better.
all right.
The second half of Paul's album is damn near fucking perfect. I mean, with the exception of one song.
Okay.
So
Lewis?
Ace's first half, I think, was the strongest for me. Paul's second half is definitely the
I
strongest.
will say
for-
this, as a whole, Ace's side one is probably better. As a whole, song to song, obviously not in my voting, but he's got his best stuff on side one, where Paul's strongest stuff is on side two, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, this is the way that I think most people see it. Paul's got great peaks and a few valleys, whereas Ace's is just overall, if you take both albums, just listen in their entirety, Ace's got the more consistency throughout, except for the New York Groove song, which fucks everything up. But, you know, it's just from beginning to end, Ace's straightforward rock and roll is very appealing to a lot of people. Ace and Paul with the ballad and the slow Steely Dan type ain't quite right and all this and that hinders some people. So that's why I think a lot of people prefer Aces.
I've always gone
Yeah,
with the
what-
fact if you ask the question, who's the better songwriter between Ace Frehley and Paul Stanley, your answer is going to be Paul Stanley is the better songwriter. So to think that Ace Frehley could write a better album of songs than Paul Stanley can is just doesn't make sense to me.
But you're dealing with, and I'm not saying Scott, that's fine that you're a big Ace fan, but the diehard blind Ace Frehley fans, they'll keep going back to Cold Gin and Parasite and saying, well, Ace wrote these great songs. Okay, 4, 5 in their 70s catalog that are legendary songs that he wrote out of all those songs. I'm not saying he's a bad songwriter, but Dave's absolutely right. Paul Stanley's the best songwriter in the band, period.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
Gene's
God.
writing about his uncle being a raft and all kinds of stupid shit. Paul's the true rock star here, but I have a question for everybody, and I want everybody's individual take. I think I've asked Scott this before. If New York Groove is not released and not on this album, does Ace outsell any of the other members? Lewis?
No, because that stupid song got the attention of people, and people bought the album because of the song. But as far as Kiss fans go, I think it would have been equal across the board for all 4 of them, because people buy, then they listen, and then whether they recommend or they tell people about it, it's going to be a matter of opinion. When Gene put out his album at the time, I thought it was fantastic because of the eclectic stuff going on. But now it's a bunch of bullshit with a few good things.
Tommy?
Well, first of all, when I was younger, if I wanted to listen to New York Groove, I'd have to put on the Ace Frehley solo album. But that was the only reason why I listened to the solo album was for New York Groove. As for it being the better album, it would be Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley is just a way better songwriter.
That's not the question. Do you think Ace would have still sold more
No,
albums than
God,
Okay.
no, absolutely
Okay.
not. No, I think they
Dave?
just mostly got recognition for New York Groove.
No, and I've been guilty in the past of buying a whole album based on one song I heard on the radio and then being completely disappointed with the rest of the album. I mean, I just think they made a mistake releasing Hold Me, Touch Me as a single of Paul's album because it didn't reflect what the rest of the album was. But no, I think Ace got the sales because of that New York Groove.
Scott?
I'm going to go against the grain because I think it really is not New York Groove that got him the sales. You know what I think got him the sales? Ace didn't sing but one song until then. And that was shocked me. Well, Alive to Rocket Ride.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think people wanted to hear more of him sing. Now, I was a kid, so it didn't really matter to me. What the hell would they have released though? It would have to been something like not wiped out, but rip it out or something. That would have been a killer release for him. But I don't really know, but I'll still say it would have sold good regardless. But like Lewis said, we bought. Just like everybody went and bought Gene's album. That's the reason it sold as many as it did. Because we went and bought the damn thing because we thought it was going to be Dr. Love. We thought it was going to be God of Thunder, Watching You.
But I think you would have got people buying that Ace solo album that weren't necessarily Kiss fans. They liked that song.
Yeah, that
Aaron?
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Ace's album would have sold as well if New York Groove hadn't been on there, right? I mean, yes, that definitely was back in the day where people would buy it and then listen for the most part. Whereas today's it's the opposite, right? You have all these opportunities to hear it first or hear some of it first before you go out and spend money on the entire thing. And I was gonna basically say the exact same thing that Dave said, is that I just looked it up because I didn't know prior to this, but I looked it up before Dave said it, that the single off of Paul's solo album was that big piece of shit, the Hold Me Touch Me. And it's like, that's not even fair. The only single that came off of Ace's album was New York Groove, and then Paul's was Hold Me Touch Me. I mean,
well, I just want to say one thing.
yeah.
We got to remember this. It wasn't because Ace Frehley had the song New York Groove on the album that it sold more. It's because it got radio airplay and because it was on jukeboxes in bars.
Right.
That's the attention-getting thing.
Yeah,
If Rip It Out was a radio song, that would have sold his album. If Speeding Back was on that
but
album,
if Ozone was the song,
yeah, any Ace song off that album, if it was a radio song, it would have sold the album. Just like all the other three guys. If one song was picked to be radio airplay, then they all would have sold more albums.
Again, as a casual Kiss fan, I think the Kiss community as a whole probably would have bought all of them. The thing that you're discounting, and to Dave's point, is that the New York Groove song got non-Kiss fans, and that helped the radio. Fans. Whereas non-Kiss fans aren't going to like the Hold Me Touch Me piece of shit, and they're not going to run out to buy it because they haven't heard anything else from it. So why would they go out and buy it if they don't like that one song?
Well,
that song wasn't on jukeboxes.
If Hold Me Touch Me was a radio song, if Hold Me Touch Me was a radio song back at that time period, 1978, it would have skyrocketed in sales because all the girls would want to buy it. Just like Beth gets a lot of sales because the girls love that song.
Yes.
That's what the thing is. What got radio airplay sells albums.
Okay, but Hold Me Touch Me didn't get it because it was no good.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. I mean, you can say that. And yes, I agree, Dave. I don't care what member it is or what song it is. If it got radio play, it would have sold the album. But you only get radio play for the most part back then if it was a good song that people related to. Now, you look at Extreme. They broke with More Than Words on their second album. The Buyer's Remorse was off the charts with non-Extreme fans who skyrocketed the sales of that album. It wasn't the diehard Extreme fans. The diehard Extreme fans you could fit in a small little auditorium. That song appealed to the masses who were not Extreme fans. And when they bought the album, they were very, very mad that this was a funk metal album.
We heard people about that.
Yeah.
We went to that show. I bought that album for More Than Words, and then the rest of it sucked. And I wanted to turn around and slap him and said, the best stuff is not More Than Words. Yeah, that was a good song, but that's not the best song on there.
And I think that's what Paul or the studio, the record label, whoever was trying to do with Paul. They were saying this is a radio hit, and it just didn't turn out to be. Had they been, not telling you it was Paul, it probably would have been on every pop station, BG Air Supply fan type stuff. But to me, you can't release a ballad for any rock band as your first single. You can't. It's never been done. That's a horrible recipe. If you're a pop band, a straight up pop band, that's a damn good strategy. If you're Richard Marx, that's a good strategy. Not if you're in, at this time, one of the most dangerous and evil rock bands in history. You don't do that to represent. I also think a big mistake was releasing them all at the same time. Because back then we were poor, us Kiss fans, for the most part. You had to pick one. And if you picked Gene, because let's face it, visually, Gene was the most popular face of Kiss. How much are you in a hurry to go get them other ones after that experience? Or Peter, where you're getting, basically a Peter Criss album is like country rock.
Oh, I would have been
How
so
much-
pissed if it was a Peter album.
I have a question. How much did records go for back in the day?
Maybe.
About
Yeah,
$9, $10.
Really?
Okay,
I got all
$9, $10 equipment. Back then would have been at least.
Put it
30,
in a perspective.
40K.
For me, we're talking late 70s, early 80s.
That would have been-
My allowance was $5 a week.
Yeah, that would have been an easily $50 to $40 as equivalent today. So that kind of makes sense. Yeah, imagine just spending all that money coming home and realizing it's just a complete pile of dog shit. And
Well,
Gene Simmons' record makes you want to take a trip to Disney.
Well,
I
for
got
me-
lucky.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
In my
me,
opinion, if they would have done that individually, unfortunately, I think they would have released Gene's first because he is, at the time, was the most famous member. And that could have just completely derailed the rest of the album sales for the other members.
What was this, 1978 when these came out?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so according to the inflation calculator, the equivalent of $9 in 1978 is $43.85 today.
All right. I paid.
Right, around
Most
between
albums are worth
40
more
to
than that
50
now.
bucks as of today. So imagine paying that much money coming home, and then all you hear is "I wish upon a star." I
That's
would
not
have
all you
just
heard.
broke my record player.
To be
man.
fair,
I
you,
would
you had to wait till the end
rage.
to hear that.
Yeah, that was the
I
very
would
end.
rate. I know, but
Well,
still, imagine that it goes from
No, to your
radioactive
point, Rob,
to
I
like.
wouldn't go out and spend another $43, the equivalent on the next album, knowing that the one I just bought was a huge
Right,
disappointment.
All right. For
Right.
me, I paid $3.99 for each album. I was working a job at a grocery store, bagging groceries, taking them out to cars, and getting quarters all the time. So for the whole day, part time after school, whatever, I was getting $3-4 a day in tips and everything else. And by the end of the week, I had $15-20. So it was easy for me to run out and buy the Kiss albums, turning my quarters into dollar bills. So it was, like I said, at the time, I loved all 4 solo albums equally because it was all Kiss, it's all good and everything else. And as you get older, you start to get more discerning. And that's all I got to say about that.
I tried to have that attitude because when I was a kid, and keep in mind, Lewis, respect your age, I wasn't working. I was, 5 years old, 6 years old when this shit was coming out. So I had no prayer. My allowance was it. Or if I could beg, mom at the time, so I probably wasn't even getting an allowance when I'm 5, 6 years old. I don't remember that far back, but you had to beg and plead your case. So it was, in my case, do I get that magazine this week that I want with Kiss or my favorite wrestlers in it? Do I get which Kiss album, which one do I, and then you got to wait, a month before you can sucker your parents into buying you another one? It was a bad strategy in my opinion. That's all I'm saying. It not everybody had the ability to go out and just buy an album without feeling it. I mean, most of us couldn't even afford it. We didn't have income.
I got lucky. My mom got all 4 of them for my birthday. So
Rich
there you
boy.
go. I was one of the lucky.
And I tried that because I was the most blind Kiss lover that I knew. They could have shit on the sidewalk and I would have fucking just framed it. But in my mind, I was saying Gene and Paul's are good album, or Gene and Peter's are good albums, but I would never listen to them. I would listen to Radioactive. That's it. And then I would take Gene's album off. I honestly don't think I ever dropped the needle on the Peter Criss solo album after the first time I ever did. And that's to this day. If me and Scott wouldn't have done a video a few months back about Peter's, people will list tracks off that. I have no fucking idea other than Tossing and Turning. I don't fucking know, because I never listened to it. I would never bring myself to admit to my friends that it was a piece of shit. I'd just ignore it. Same with Gene's, and hope and pray nobody knew there was When You Wish Upon a Star on the Demons fucking solo album.
It makes you want to take a trip to Disneyland. It does.
Oh.
Yeah, man. You wanted to like them.
I wanted to
like them.
Yeah.
It's fucking kids, man. You tried to force yourself to like them. But as a kid, man, I listened to Peters, I think, one time. And I think I actually didn't listen to them all the way through. I kept moving into the next song.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think I just listened to the first track of Peters and never listened to it ever again. Like just the first track.
Well,
and give it a
we
try.
got the two representing here that are the rock stars of the band. Obviously, Gene was the face of the band with the evil image, but he was basically a superhero monster on stage with a bass. These two were the rock stars from day one. They're still the rock stars. I mean, you see either one of these guys in an interview, even Ace, rings, bracelets, chains, hair. What do you get when you see Gene? A cheap-ass suit jacket with a pair of jeans, a styrofoam hair-sprayed fucking helmet. When he's up there with his solo band doing these gigs now, he's in a fucking T-shirt or, whatever. It's the only two who have ever been rock stars in this band are Paul and Ace, so no secret why they have the best albums. So there we have it. Anybody else got anything to add on these two gentlemen or these albums?
Yeah. If we were to omit When You Wish Upon a Star from Gene's album, we could do him against Peter Criss 10 and 10, if you want to try that in the future.
That would be the most painful experience ever. It was one thing when me and Scott had to do each album, but to have to do both at the same time,
yeah, but Scott
I think I'd rather do a Led Zeppelin album. I mean,
Scott said he wanted
I mean, if you guys want to give it a go, I'll sit here and just laugh.
I'll buy on that one.
Oh yeah, I would probably just sit here and laugh myself.
Scott has said he wanted to bring back doing the Kiss stuff all over again.
Yeah, man. Where everybody where we can rank, everybody ranks the songs on that.
How about this? Dave, how do you stand on this experiment? Peter versus Gene. Not your opinion. Would you do it?
Oh, I'd do it.
All right. So we can have Lewis, Dave, and Scott. I will moderate this thing. I honestly think there's two songs off Gene's album, 3, that I would actually think are respectable. And off Peter's, the remake and one ballad. I couldn't pick a winner. I could try. I can fucking try. But we will definitely leave off that utter disgrace of a Disney song. If you three want to do it, we'll do it.
I want to go to Disney, Rob.
I'll do it. Oh, shit.
Lewis, it's your idea.
Yeah, doesn't have to be right away. Could be any time.
Right. Yeah, it's going to take time for you guys to get through it. You ain't going to be able to do it in one listen.
No,
I'll have to listen to them fucking albums because I am out of touch with them. So,
all right. So there you go. You three got your homework for in the future. Start listening to those two painful experiences. The rest of us, we have on tap. Saturday we got The Warning with Dave and Lewis. We still have that rumble. We still have that rumble out there. That was a play on words, similar titles but not exact titles. That's a quick video that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights. And then we have Tommy's got LA Guns Cocked and Loaded, which is like 13 songs, I think.
Kiss ballads.
And the Kiss ballads. So for everybody, and we looking at what is today? Fucking Friday?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday. At the earliest Sunday. What do you guys want to do out of that mess?
Everything got. Okay,
Here we go.
Saturday's
We
the
got Tommy's got LA Guns Cocked and Loaded. Saturday is the warning. So
Okay,
Saturday.
Saturday.
I've already,
Do you
I've
want
already
to do
got the
something
ballad.
on Sunday? Yeah, I'm ready with the ballads.
Ballads for everybody.
Yeah.
The Slow Down Showdown. 20 tracks.
Sunday night?
Yeah, because I
Does that
gotta.
work?
I gotta.
Darren, Sunday night work for you?
Should, yeah.
Okay, if it doesn't, let me know and we'll bump to Monday, but Sunday is the outlook for the ballads video then.
Okay.
I'll try to get out of work early for that.
No. Don't get out of work early for it. It's a podcast. You're not getting paid. That's a stupid decision. Don't be a Gen Zer.
Yeah, good point. Good point. I'm
If
a
you can't
millennial.
make
I
it, you
gotta stay
can't
in my
make
lane.
it. There are plenty of videos in the future. Not a big deal.
Well,
So
it's
we'll
only
shoot
because I already got the list up. I already have my list already set and done.
Okay,
I
I have an idea for Tom.
Okay.
All right, this is my idea for Tom. Now, you don't leave your work early to do this show, but if you come in, because this thing's going to be almost 2 hours, I could guess. If you come home and you're at the end of the show, just rattle off your list at the end of the show. If you can make it before we're done.
Perfect.
All right. That
Perfect.
sounds good.
All right. And until next time, thanks for watching.
Two brothers smashing